Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Mess. So, we're got a super fun and exciting video for you guys today because we're taking a look at Mushroom Kingdom Fusion. When I say this is basically every game ever made, all combined into one Mario-style platformer, I 100% mean it. The amount of creativity and charm in this actual game is second to none, and I feel like even Nintendo should be jealous about what the developers have done here. And the best part is, about 16 hours ago, it got updated with new levels, new features, and bug fixes. Because it is a game I've been meaning to talk about on the channel, I just really haven't gotten around to it, but I saw an update pop up and I figured now was the time. Before I get too far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, you got a Patreon link down below as well. So if you're not familiar with what Mushroom Kingdom Fusion is, it's basically taking the idea of Super Mario as a platformer, putting in the worlds of Sonic, the worlds of Mega Man, and a lot of other fun secrets you're going to find along the way. Because obviously in something like a Mario game, you don't play as role with a blaster dressed up like a Mega Man character. That is just not how things work. We do not shoot Goombas in any sort of mainline Nintendo game, but you can totally do it here, and honestly, even though it doesn't make any sense when you're watching it if you haven't played, in actual gameplay elements it works 100% perfectly. You'll see here you can even pick up and throw some characters just like you were playing Super Mario Brothers 2. Basically every single Mario game, every single mechanic from there has been included into Mushroom Kingdom Fusion, and there is a metric ton of worlds to explore here. This game is absolutely dense with content. You can play this thing for a dozen, 2 dozen hours and probably still never see everything it has to offer. And because it is at 0.93 status now, it still isn't even a finished game. So this is something that you want to follow along with the developments of, and definitely keep up with it because the developers are constantly adding new content, new levels, and fixing things up. And I just cannot imagine how many hundreds, maybe even thousands of hours have gone into developing a game like this, and it is all done for free. And if you do want to play it, there's a link in the description below to the itch.io page. But honestly, it's insane that fans could just go out there and do something that I think even rivals or beats Nintendo in their current 2D offerings. Because the reality is, I do love Nintendo developments, even if I don't really love them as a company with all their lawsuits. But stuff like Super Mario Odyssey, Donkey Kong Bonanza, my wife and I have played those together, and we have absolutely had an amazing time. But when we played Super Mario Wonder, Mrs. Esoterica basically kind of got a little bit bored in the middle and said that it kind of all felt the same, and I kind of felt the exact same way. Now don't get me wrong, Super Mario Wonder isn't a bad game, but I just wish Nintendo would sit down and make a traditional 2D Mario game, hell, even do it in the Super Nintendo style of graphics. I think that would absolutely please some old school fans of that formula. Now of course, this is not adhering to that standard formula because there were no blasters in the original Super Mario Brothers, and that kind of is the fun thing here. But there is a character selection screen, so you can kind of select from different characters and you'll unlock more as you actually go throughout the worlds. But the number one thing that's going to confuse the ever-living hell of you, and it's going to take a second to get used to, is the fact that Roll just can't run on Goombas and jump on them and actually kill them. They are going to hurt her and kill her, so you kind of have to play around with your expectations and pivot around how you play the game, because you're going to think to yourself, I can just pop the Goomba on the top of the head, and that does not work. And you'll see there I actually wasn't able to get up on top of the level here, but this is basically emulating a little bit closely to Super Mario World and World 1-2, where you can get to the warp zone. But there is secrets hidden in this game, and some of them are kind of dependent or expectational of you actually remembering where things are. And you will see there is a little bit of a knockback damage when you're actually playing his role. So this kind of has a vibe of Super Mario World as well as Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3, and basically creating its own vibe along the way with how you play the game. So definitely stick with it, give it an hour or two. Off the top, you might notice you're dying a couple too many times, and that's just because you have to wrap your head around the fact that it looks like Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario World, but in instances when you're not using those characters, it can play completely different. But that kind of is a really fun place to develop from, because you can pivot on and just basically use the player's expectations against them as well as with them to give them an experience that you've never actually had before. And I will say this game is absolutely gorgeous, from all of the sprites to the backgrounds to everything else. It is one of the prettiest 2D games in the Mushroom Kingdom I have ever played, and that is definitely something that matters to me. I love the art style, colorways, and graphics on display here. They just make me really happy to look at because it has that Super Nintendo vibe. It also has a great soundtrack, so go ahead and listen, and I'll be right back with more. The music in this game absolutely just ranges basically every single genre and every single actual franchise that you could think of. And I absolutely love that Birdo here got turned into what basically amounts to a diesel running robot, still shooting eggs out of their mouth, but definitely completely different. And that is the fun thing, you're never quite sure what you're going to see around the corner, even if you played this game before, because it does update, things do change. But trust me, if you've never played it, I really am keeping a lot of the later worlds and spoilers completely out of this video, because the sensation of discovery in Mushroom Kingdom Fusion is a lot of the fun reason to play it. And you'll see here, now that we've defeated Robo Birdo, we're able to unlock Luigi from this actual prison in a tree, and now he's going to become a playable character. Because there's so many different weird, charming, and unique characters in this game, including ones that have never existed in any game or completely made up by the developers. You're really going to find a character you like to play as and a gameplay style you like to play as, because of course if you switch over to Luigi, it's not like you're going to be shooting a blaster all the time. And that really is the fun thing. This game gives you basically the infinite ability to kind of combine and play around with the game world and the levels however you want. And like I said, this is absolutely lousy with a ton of different levels and things to see and do. I can't even imagine how people come up with all of these diverse ideas. And right there you just saw something from Sonic's universe come into the game, and that really is kind of showing you that these disparate themes and these disparate mechanics can actually work together if intelligently designed, because you wouldn't think something from the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise would work in a 2D Mario style game, but it absolutely does work. That just goes to show how intelligently they've designed this game and how all of the different mechanics work. And as far as this boss here, definitely a Mega Man themed boss, even if it is a Goomba, because the patterns and everything else, how they move around the screen, feels more like a Mega Man Robot Master than it does a giant King Goomba. But you leave me a comment down below and you tell me, have you ever played this game before, and did you know it existed? I would be curious. And here's a fun little tidbit for you, just so you guys know. This is officially the last video I'm voicing over in my old house and studio. By the time you watch next week's videos, some of them will be recorded in my new studio and house. I will definitely have a tour very shortly, but don't get me wrong, I've got a lot of videos that don't need to be weird because they aren't news related, so you'll still be hearing me in the old house as well. But it's one of those things I figured I'd go out on a very fun, very weird, and very love letter to retro gaming fan video, and that's why we're doing this as the last voiceover in the old video game Esoterica studio. And trust me, I am absolutely exhausted. I've been moving boxes all week, and even though it seems like I keep moving carload after carload of stuff, nothing seems to disappear around me, and I'm starting to get a little bit stressed out that this is going to be a disaster. But it'll be a fun disaster, and one that you get to hear about soon. But what isn't a disaster, but sure as hell is a metric crap ton of fun, is Mushroom Kingdom Fusion. This game just absolutely does everything I want. I really can't think of anything to critique. One more soundtrack sample, and I'll be right back to talk a little more about the game. I'm trying to convince you one more time to play it if you haven't, because trust me, if you haven't, you're 100% missing out. I showed you the world map there so you can get a sense of the scale of this game, because when I say it's absolutely all-encompassing and epic, I 100% mean it. And the fun part is you're going to be seeing characters in this game that sometimes you're not even going to be sure where they are. You're going to have to use all your retro gaming knowledge and rack your brain to figure out where a character that shows up all at once as an enemy may come from. Some characters like the dude down below should be obvious, but leave me a comment if you know who that is. But other characters, even I had to stop and think for a second or two, where have I seen them before? Because Mushroom Kingdom Fusion isn't just Mega Man, isn't just Sonic, it isn't just Mario. It's like 100 things all at once, all working in conjunction to make one of the best 2D Mario games, if this even does technically qualify as a Mario game after all, that I've ever played. And even though Super Mario Wonder was a fun game, this is what I would love to see Nintendo do. Just give fans a straight up 2D Mario game, maybe even call it Super Mario World 2, give us that 16-bit aesthetic, and don't put any gimmicks or hooks into the game, just give us some straight up tight platforming like we got back in the day. So if you want to play this one, the link is in the description below. And again, End of an Era, the official last voiceover I do in this house. After I upload this video, I've got to take my entire computer apart and go drive it to the new house. So hope that I don't drop it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.